Hello, and welcome back to Socks and Sandals, and to another episode of Achievement HuntWhores. So, about 7 months ago was the last Borderlands Achievement HuntWhores I did. It was over Borderlands 3. That game, I got all achievements, start to finish, for the Xbox version. That does include the DLC. You can check that out if you want to, preferably after this video, however. And today's video is continuing that trend. I did take a little break from Borderlands games because of how much that one tasked of me, but today we are doing the Borderlands pre-sequel. This is the Xbox 360 version, and I started out already having 33 achievements. I had already beat the game. I got all the side missions. I can't remember every achievement I got, but I got like every story mission related one. I played, so this Achievement HuntWhores was done mostly with the help of buddy Nathan, and it wasn't really necessary, but it did help a lot. Especially if there were parts where I would go down or whatever. So Nathan helped me out completing this Achievement HuntWhores. But I think we played probably about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours of the game before I ever actually popped my first achievement. And I ended up doing it solo. But the first achievement I actually got in this Achievement HuntWhores is Ice to Meet You. And that achievement is unlocked by... So the Ice to Meet You achievement is unlocked by shattering 3 frozen enemies with a single slam attack. I unlocked this in... can't remember the name of the area, but you go there to get the pieces of the grinder for Janie. And so the train station where you get the grinder pieces, to the right of that is a cave that has a bunch of torques in it. It's also the first, probably the first encounter you will have with the swag man. But I just went in there and then backed up against a cryo vine and just waited for the torques to swarm me. Preferably you want the swarmlings to swarm you because they're like a one-hit kill once they're frozen. Once they swarm you and you're up against the cryo-vine freezes them, and then you can just jump in the air and press B to do your slam attack. The next achievement I got is Elementalist, which is to have an enemy frozen, corroded, ignited, and electrocuted at the same time. The way I did this is, once I unlocked my 4th weapon slot, I just had each elemental type weapon and would just swap to them. There's a dumpster in Concordia. It's got like no fire signs all over it, and if you shoot it with fire, it bursts into flames. But for whatever reason, that dumpster counts as an enemy. So if you just shoot each elemental type at the dumpster, you'll unlock the Elementalist. But you can also do this by playing as Claptrap. So if you go down Claptrap's far right tree all the way to the bottom, you unlock it's the Disco Ball action package, but anytime you change your subroutine, you send out a Nova Blast. You send out a Nova Blast of each element. So if I had not done the dumpster method, I would have eventually got it later on after getting that action package in his skill tree. But, yeah. And the next achievement after that is Who You Gonna Call, which is to complete the side mission sub-level 13 with 3 other players. And Nathan and I originally did this the first time we attempted this. I started an extra player on one of the other accounts I had, but I had Nathan just sign in as a guest. And once we completed the side mission, it still didn't pop the achievement. So unfortunately, we were playing in my game, so once you complete a side mission in Borderlands, you can't redo it. You have to either load into like True Vault Hunter mode or Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. But what I did was just switched over to Nathan's game, and we played up to that point in the story to where we would unlock that side mission, and then tried it again, but with another actual account, not signed into a guest. And once we turned the side mission in, it popped the achievement. Cool little Ghostbusters reference, but, you know, it's kind of like a unique achievement in terms of Borderlands. I think out of all of the Borderlands games, that's the only one that actually requires you to have a full lobby, a full party. So that's kind of cool. Next achievement I got is Expensive Taste. And anything with the grinder in this game fucking sucks. Anything you were required to do involving the grinder to get an achievement is just awful. Expensive Taste is to get a legendary weapon from the grinder. And I would like to say that it's guaranteed a legendary weapon with 2 oranges and a purple. But Nathan, when he did that, proved that that is not the case. But thankfully, when I put 2 oranges and a purple and then used Moonstone, I got my legendary weapon and popped the achievement. So thankfully, I really didn't have to stress too much about that one. I guess I got kind of lucky. But after that, I unlocked Beam Me Up, which is to discover every location on Helios space station. That one's not too bad. I think the last area I needed is, I think it's like the satellite platform or something, comms platform, I think, which, I don't think you get a side mission for that one. You kind of have to go off the main path and use their, like, blue jump pads to take you over there. But as long as you do all of the side missions and then get that one, you're guaranteed all of the locations aboard Helios. And then following that, and bear in mind that there are like several days and play sessions between these, because like I said, I'd already gotten all of the story mission ones, so it may seem that I'm like burning through these, but I think all in all it took me probably about 2 months to get the remaining achievements I need for this game. But following Beam Me Up, I got Collateral Damage, which is probably the most frustrating achievement in this game. And Collateral Damage asks you to have a Lost Legion Eternal kill 3 of his friends. So the Lost Legion Eternals are a lot like the Goliaths in Borderlands 2, except, you know, you don't like shoot a helmet off their head and then they go berserk. You just kind of do enough damage to them and then they will ascend, quote unquote. And it's random what type of Lost Legion you get after they ascend, but according to the guides I was trying to follow, your best bet for having this is either getting a Magus Lost Legion or one of the Volatile Lost Legions. So the Volatile Lost Legion, when he ascends, he's basically just a proximity mine. He just like immediately explodes. So for a lot of this, I was trying to get a Volatile, and what you wanted to happen is when you do enough damage, there's a specific area, I think it's in Typhon's Ribs or Tycho's Ribs. I think it's Tycho's Ribs. It's like right when you first enter the area, like after you spawn into this area via the fast travel. when you walk in, a Lost Legion will come out of a shack, and what you want to happen is you go over there, you do enough damage to him, he transforms, but if you're trying to go for the volatile way, a large grouping of enemies will follow you over there, and they will gather around you. Claptrap does have a perk in his skill tree that when you go into fight for your life, enemies will focus on you as opposed to your teammate. So playing as Claptrap probably helps you in that area. I mean, I was playing as Claptrap and I still struggled with this, which is what makes this achievement probably the most difficult in this game, just because of the fucking RNG that you need to get a maggot, or to get a Lost Legion that will actually kill his teammates. But you want a large enough grouping around you so that when the volatile Lost Legion explodes, he takes 3 people out with him. I was unsuccessful in that method. What I ended up doing was getting the Magus Lost Legion. And I don't know, there's a different named Lost Legion. I think it's like a chaotic. Like, instead of, like, I think their name will say Lost Legion Eternal, but there's also a Lost Legion that just says Lost Legion. It doesn't say Eternal on it. I don't know if those are different. They will spawn as different Lost Legions, different variations of the Lost Legion. So I don't know if those would count if you got them to kill 3 other people. But like I was saying, I got the Magus, and what I would do was just kind of like have an enemy just melee attack me or just be behind them constantly, and the Magus will throw energy balls, and what you want him to do is to kill one of his teammates collaterally. So that one took me a minute. I have several fucking recordings of me trying that and failing, and yeah, I would definitely classify that one as the most difficult in the game. But after that, I got Lunar Looter, which is to open 10 Moonstone chests, or to loot 10 Moonstone chests. Now, when I was doing this, I don't think it transfers between games, because we initially started in my game with Nathan playing with me. And at some point, I think it was when I was trying to do the Who You Gonna Call, I opened a few Moonstone chests in that game, and I was adding that to my total count. I don't think those count. I think they have to be within the same game. Or save file, or whatever. But what I ended up doing was just using the Moonstone chest that is given to you after you beat Red Belly. So I would beat Red Belly. You of course have to have 40 Moonstone to even open the chest. So farm enough until you have, so that's 400 Moonstone that you need. Thankfully I was like opening chests as I played, so I only really needed a few more, but I would kill Red Belly, go up, open the chest, save and quit, and then fight Red Belly again, and then just rinse and repeat. And finally I unlocked the Lunar Looter. That's another one I did solo. But after that, I got Iridian Explorer, which is to discover every location within the Outlands Canyon, Outlands Spur, and Virago Solitude. I really don't know how I didn't do this playing the first time. I must have, like, I completed every side mission. So there just must have been, like, some random area that I just never went into for whatever reason. Because these two Helios ones, I'm betting the Helios one is that comms tower, or the comms platform. Because I don't think you're ever required to actually go there. Like, it's not in a side mission. So that's probably the only reason I never got this. I must have been, like, missing one area in each zone. The only location achievement I got is I come from the land up over, which is to like discover every location in Serenity's Waste, whatever like the starting areas are. I can't remember all the names. Stanton's Liver, shit like that. That's the only one I got in my original playthrough of this. But after getting Iridian Explorer, I got Cosmic Completionist, which is to discover every area in the game. Unfortunately, because like I said, my original save was gone, I did have to discover every location in Serenity's Waste, Stanton's Liver, fucking, I don't know, Triton Flats, I think is the other one. Once I did that, I unlocked the Cosmic Completionist. Thankfully. After getting Cosmic Completionist, I got Who Needs Air, which is to suffocate continuously for 5 minutes without dying. And unfortunately, playing as Claptrap, he doesn't have lungs, so he has no need to breathe. Therefore, he does not suffocate. So what I had to do is just start a new character. I chose Athena and just loaded into Nathan's world and just stood there without an Oz kit, and just every time I died, I think I only went down once. And Nathan picked me back up, but that counts as still suffocating continuously for 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, the achievement popped. So not too difficult on that. If I had a current level character that actually needed to breathe, I probably could have just done it, like removed my Oz kit and just done it with my health bar. But like I said, Claptrap doesn't need to breathe. And after getting Who Needs Air, this is probably a runner-up for the most difficult achievement in this game. It's Challenger, which is to complete level 1 of every challenge in the game. And the only reason that this one is difficult or frustrating or whatever you want to call it is the Moonstone grind shit for the grinder to get a Loonshine weapon, because it's RNG. What I ended up doing was, I think I played a whole playthrough and probably a half of this game and only ever got 2 Loonshine weapons. And I've been doing, you know, there's a challenge to complete, I think, 20 Moonstone grinds and this, that, and the third, of course, the legendary. And I still only got 2 Loonshine weapons. And to complete this challenge, you needed to get 20 Loonshine weapons. So what I ended up doing was I loaded into normal mode because I think, like, level 1 to, I don't know, 10 weapons were, like, 3 Moonstone at the most to do a Moonstone grind. So I loaded in a normal mode. I did a loop from Serenity's Waste into the Regolith something or other. Regolith Range, I think is what it's called. So I did a loop from Serenity's Waste into Regolith Range and then back into Serenity's Waste, looting the chests and, of course, killing enemies, and any weapon they dropped, I would grab it. There's one chest in Serenity's Waste. It's where you go to get the first Oz kit. I think there's 4 in Regolith Range. No, there's 5. So there's one once you enter that area in that, like, crashed ship to the right. There's one at the top of the hill where you go to complete the circuit to turn Deadlift's jump pad back on. And then there are 2 after you beat Deadlift, and then there's one in that next bandit camp, you know, after you pass all of the Kragans. So I would just keep doing that until I filled my inventory with low-level guns. Preferably, I noticed that I had the most luck with pistols to get a Loonshine. If I just put 3 pistols in, I, like, maybe 60% of the time would get a Loonshine weapon from it. So I would do that until I filled my inventory. I had 30 slots completely full of weapons. I'd go and I also farmed... Dang, I can't remember his name either. It's the secret boss in Serenity's Waste. I think it's not Godzilla. I think it's Kaijita or something like that. But farmed him for Moonstone. I think I had probably like 300 Moonstone, maybe 350. And go and just Moonstone grind all of that until finally I got my 20 Loonshine weapons. I ended up having to do that loop probably about 5 times, and I ended up spending probably 150 something Moonstone before I finally got my 20 Loonshine weapons. So yeah, that one sucks, but a lot of the other challenges for Challenger aren't too bad. There's 2 that you're required to fully complete in order to unlock an additional challenge, and it's Take It All, which is to kill, I want to say, no, it's more than 500, I think it's to kill 1,000 enemies with point blank shotgun blasts, and then another one is I can't remember the name of the challenge, but it's to kill, let's just say, 750 enemies with splash damage from a rocket launcher. Those kind of suck because that's just a lot of kills, and that's really not how you want to use those weapons. Well, I mean, you need close range with a shotgun anyways, but my experience with this game is that the enemies are constantly moving. And I was prepared to say that this isn't as bad as people claim to be as far as a Borderlands games go. I certainly don't think it's the worst, but it's also not the best. And part of the reason that I think that is that the enemies are always moving. They do not fucking sit still. And that makes this game impossible to play solo. Like I said, I have that perk with Claptrap to where when I go down into fight for my life, or fight for your life, I don't know how it's supposed to be correctly said, but whenever I would go down, enemies are supposed to come to me. They're supposed to focus on me. But when I'm solo, I don't have a partner that perk is supposed to benefit. And it seemed that the moment you fucking go down, enemies back the fuck off. They will go around a fucking corner or whatever. They just fuck straight off. And the fight for your life and killing an enemy and getting back up is such a major part of playing Borderlands. It makes it damn near unplayable because you can't fucking kill an enemy to get back up. Especially on the harder levels. So like normal mode initially was a struggle, but going into Vault Hunter and Ultimate Vault Hunter, going into True Hunter and then Ultimate Vault Hunter, it is nigh impossible to actually fucking get yourself back up. And I also want to say that the game is incredibly unbalanced as terms of weapons. When Nathan and I finished our first playthrough, on true Vault Hunter mode, we were not finding any weapons that were better than our normal mode guns that we ended the game with. I think we ended the game at like level 28, and we were still not finding any decent weapons once we started true Vault Hunter mode. And I don't know, it seems that the team that made this game, I guess they were just trying to fucking cash in on how well Borderlands 2 did, obviously, because you know, just the PreSequel itself obviously should be noticed as just a cash grab. But I don't know, it just didn't seem that enough time went into this game to actually make it a playable Borderlands game. But, oh, that's the point I was trying to make. So the point I was trying to make initially concerning the enemies not standing still is that when you're trying to kill them with point-blank fire from a shotgun, is that they're just constantly moving. So you have to literally be, like, inside them for you to get a point-blank shotgun kill. But after getting Challenger, I then started the DLC achievements. I started to try and get those. And I got Smash the System, which is to complete the 5 rounds in the Holodome. So the Holodome is the same thing it's been for every fucking Borderlands game since Borderlands 1 with Mad Moxie's Underdome. It's not as bullshit, but it's still not that fun. The Holodome, I think the first 3 rounds only have 3 waves, and then I think the 4th round moves up to 5, and then the final 5th round, I think, is 6. They're not too difficult. I, of course, was over-leveled. I think max level in the Holodome is 32, and I think I was like 35 maybe when I started it, so it's not too bad.
Do you like small talk?
Next up, I got Digitize Me, which is basically the first achievement you get within the Claptastic Voyage. And it's just to digitize into Claptrap's brain. So, just a story-related achievement for the Claptastic Voyage. And then next up, I got Smash Not Grab, which is another story-related achievement in the Claptastic Voyage, which is to destroy the Tacitor proxy. The Claptastic Voyage is a okay DLC. I don't think it's Borderlands' best. I don't think it's really a good Borderlands DLC, but it was fine. With the time I spent with Claptrap, I don't think I've ever really been one of those people that hates Claptrap. I think Claptrap's hate, at first, you know, in the first game, maybe Claptrap was annoying. I don't think anybody actually hated him, but I think Gearbox saw how, I guess they thought it was funny, making Claptrap the butt of the jokes all of the time, and I guess they thought it was funny to hate Claptrap. So I think a lot of Claptrap's hate is just manufactured from Gearbox. And I think people pull the hate from the game that the characters, and I'm going to say, like, unjustly give him. Like, it seems that a lot of the jokes at Claptrap's expense seems very unwarranted, and I don't find them funny at all. Granted, I have been playing the game, but I've never been one to actually hate Claptrap. I think he's fine. I don't like the humor that Gearbox uses him with. I don't think that's funny at all. But, yeah, the one thing I can say about the Claptastic Voyage is that I don't like any of the other Vault Hunters, or I like them less now after playing the Claptastic Voyage. but I think my disdain needs to be targeted towards the writers, because the writers wrote it this way for Claptrap. I keep wanting to say Claptastic. Claptrap to be the butt of the joke constantly. But I'll talk about that more once I actually discuss the achievement you get for beating Claptastic. But, so after getting Smash Not Grab, I then got Sociopathic Networker, which is to talk to all of Claptrap's holographic projections. There are, I think there's 5 of them, and they're just these, like, they're just these stands in, I think it's called the Nexus. They're each resembling a Vault Hunter from the first game, and then Janie and then Pickle have one. So I think it's Brick, Lilith, Roland, and then Janie and Pickle are these holographic projections, and they're basically just, they have 3 lines of dialogue, and they're basically just talking shit about Claptrap. For, I mean, I guess it's in his mind, so maybe that's, I don't know how he views the Vault Hunters, but they're, you know, his mind isn't wrong, because that is how they treat him. So they just talk shit. But yeah, I found all 5 of those. Not really too difficult to find. I think 3 of them are just out in the open, and I think the only one you have to go out of your way to get is the Pickle one. But after that, I switched back to the normal game. It took me 2 playthroughs of the main story. So Nathan and I beat it on normal mode, and then we beat it on true Vault Hunter mode. And after completing the first mission of when you talk to Jack, I unlocked the Space Lord achievement, which is to get to level 50. So 2 full playthroughs of the game to get to level 50. Yeah, I just don't think the game was balanced very well. At a certain point, you just stop getting a decent XP from the enemies, and it requires you to switch up to the next level, even after completing like a majority of the side quests. But after getting to level 50, I then went and got Excalibastard and got the achievement, the Gun in the Stone. I wanted to wait until I was level 50, because I think the gun scales with your level as far as like the damage and stuff it does. So once I got to level 50, I went to Stanton's Liver and then grabbed Excalibastard, granting me the Gun in the Stone achievement. After that, unfortunately, the next 3 achievements I got, I was not recording. I was doing the Holodome and didn't notice that my capture card was full. I was going for the I Welcome Your Attack Fool achievement, which is to complete the boss mode in the Holodome without going in to fight for your life. My first attempt at this, I did actually end up going down, and that's only because of Claptrap's Clap in the Box action package. The Clap in the Box, when it's triggered, Claptrap pulls out a giant cartoon bomb, and it does a decent amount of damage to enemies. It's an insta-kill for most of them, like barring fucking a boss enemy or something. But if you do not kill an enemy with it, it downs you. Or at least damage an enemy with it. And I think I was on like wave 6 of the boss mode. And my subroutine changed, which sent out my Nova, killing the 2 enemies that I had left of that wave. So unfortunately, I was holding the bomb and just downed myself. So I originally had the grand ambition of not respecking Claptrap in order to see all of his VaultHunter.exes. But after that, I respect him, removed the Clap in the Box, and once I respect him, I got the final action package I needed. I would have needed to be level 56, and with how much it was a struggle to get to level 50, I kind of don't regret respecing now. But the final VaultHunter.exe I needed to see was the pirate ship mode. And during that final wave, the boss mode, I triggered the pirate ship, giving me the That Helped Right, which is to see all of VaultHunter.exe with Claptrap. And then I got Stronger, Smarter for completing the badass round of the Holodome. And then I got I Welcome Your Attack, Fool for completing the badass round without going into Fight for Your Life. The way to do this, obviously, is to play on normal mode. I was a level 50, and like I said earlier, the max level for the badass round in the Holodome is 32. I had Excalibastard, but most of my ordinary weapons ended up just being one-shot kills anyways. So yeah, it's not too bad. That. Next, I got No Photographs Please, which is to kill 10 spy bugs before they take your picture. And the spy bugs are within the Claptastic Voyage DLC. What I ended up doing is reloading into the spawn for the Nexus, going down to the compactor, and whenever there would be a spy bug down there, would just kill it and reload. I would either kill the spy bug or not have one down there and just save and quit and then reload the area. And I just did that a few times. The only aggravating thing about the spy bugs is that if they detect you, they go completely invisible. You know, when they take your picture, it's this white flash on the screen and your fucking aim is just kind of all over the place. But when they're invisible, they only show up on the mini-map. It's not even like some of the invisible creatures in the game where you can kind of see a silhouette. No, they're completely invisible. And that just makes it frustrating because you're just like shooting into the air hoping you hit one of them. But got that, and then I got Totally Recalled, which is to successfully recover the Override Key. Another story-related achievement for the Claptastic Voyage. And then I got Wheelie Fast, which is to outrun the wheel in the Temple of Boom. The Temple of Boom is a side mission that you get towards the end of Claptastic Voyage. Tanis gives you, like, I don't know. First off, Tanis is like one of those seamen. Not how y'all are thinking. The game Seaman, it's like a fish with a human face. That's what Tanis is in Claptrap's mind. So that's strange. But she wants you to go and, like, I don't know, get some of Claptrap's data files. And once you actually get into the Temple of Boom, some, like, guru Claptrap falls down out of the sky, but there's a wheel behind him for the Claptrap statue. That falls down, and you just, as the achievement title says, you just outrun it. You just run away from it. I think the only way that this is made difficult is because it's missable, and you would have to replay the entire Claptastic Voyage DLC in order to access it. But not too bad. 50 gamer score though, so not going to complain about that. Next up is Shadowplay, which is to give the H source to Jack. And I want to say this. So the final boss battle for the Claptastic Voyage is probably like the hardest boss in all of the PreSequel DLC. Because he has 3 phases. So you fight Shadowtrap. You know, he's just Shadowtrap. He's got hope and self-esteem. They're like a shield generator. So you have to kill those first before you actually can damage Shadowtrap. But once you defeat Shadowtrap, you're tasked with giving the H-source to Jack, but it turns out, spoiler alert, that it's Shadow Trap just disguising him as Jack, disguising himself as Jack.
Miss me.
And I wasn't made aware of it the first time I did this, but after, another spoiler alert, I play like the entire Claptastic Voyage DLC again for a reason I'll divulge here in a minute. But after replaying it, I noticed that the screen, so after you defeat Shadow Trap and you go back to deck 13 and a half, the screen card for that is slightly different than the original one when you first entered deck 13 and a half. First off, deck 13 and a half says 13.5 on this fake screen card, and Jack is looking at you. Whereas in the original, it's deck 13 and a half with a half, like half slash, and Jack is looking away. So I thought that was pretty cool. If, you're very astute and you do that, you may notice that difference. But it turns out that Shadow Trap is just pretending to be Jack, so when you give it back to him, he inserts the H-source into himself and transforms into this giant mech. That's a hard boss battle on its own, but after that, he then transforms into the Hyperion space station, and I died several fucking times on that final phase of the boss fight. That shit was infuriating. So, not only are there 3 phases to the boss itself, but each, I'll say third of his health you take off, he goes invisible and just spawns in just tons of enemies. But when he comes back, he has a new weapon attached to him. So he starts off with just 4 turrets. And then when he goes away and comes back, he's got 4 turrets and a rocket launcher now. 2 rocket launchers on either side. And then when he goes away and comes back again, he has like this fucking just blitzkrieg attack that he does. And it just eviscerates you. But, so when you finally give the H-source to him, you go through all of that. And the final achievement I got for base game Claptastic Voyage is Shadow of Your Former Self, which is to kill Shadow Trap. And I defeated Shadow Trap, but that stupid fucking blitzkrieg he does downed me. So I got the achievement, but I ended up fucking dying anyways. And I was going to be made super pissed if I had to fight him fucking again. But thankfully I didn't. And after beating Claptastic Voyage, once you give the H-source to Jack proper, he then rewards you. And I think this DLC is better played as Claptrap. That's just my opinion. But it just fits well into my headcanon. Once you give the H-source to Jack, he, of course, then initiates the self-destruct on all Claptrap units.
The program codes to eliminate any product line I goddamn choose. Like, say, those pain-in-the-ass, bumbling, screw-up Claptrap units.
But I saved you all.
It's so good to be the king, baby.
I think Claptrap that you play as is spared because he's got the vaulthunter.exe. So what Jack does is then just shoot him and then dumps you in the waste. dumps Claptrap in the frozen waste. And Shadow Trap, still present in Claptrap's dying mind, sacrifices himself to give Claptrap enough life to stay alive. Hammerlock then finds him and repairs him, and that's where Borderlands 2 kind of starts. But after you beat the DLC...
And that's my awesome origin story.
Isn't that just superheroes and stuff?
And didn't you sort of completely lose your powers at the end?
He right. It's a de-origin story.
Oh, sure. You can look at it that way. But through it all, I learned something. I learned that no matter what this brutally heartless and desperately meaningless universe throws at us, our spirits can never really be broken when we walk hand in hand, wrapped in the companionship of others. I guess what I'm saying is, we're a team, and I love you guys.
Shut up, Claptrap.
See? A team!
No, seriously, shut up.
Got ourselves a bit of a fighter, eh?
It gives you that, like ink thing that all Borderlands games start with, like, so you want to hear a story, of Athena telling the story of all of this happening, and Claptrap, you know, he went through that, and he rather poignantly states that the lesson learned here is that no matter how bleak things seem, as long as you've got friends with you, you can make it through anything. And people respond with this actual heartfelt thing, like what Claptrap went through in that instance is just utterly horrific. And what his supposed friends respond to him with is, "Shut up, Claptrap." And it makes me want to not like the original Vault Hunters. Like my boy Brick. I mean, also Tiny Tina and Pickle, but, you know, I don't think I ever really liked them in the first place. But I think what I need to turn my disdain towards, like I said earlier, is the writers. I don't understand why they would put you through what they did in the Claptastic Voyage. The experiences Claptrap went through. They obviously wanted you to kind of feel for Claptrap a little more, or it was all just one big joke to them, and they're like, haha, see how dumb Claptrap is? See what sort of atrocities that he's gone through? See how funny that is? I just don't get the dichotomy of kind of... I mean, like I said, I never hated Claptrap, but learning about Claptrap and the just betrayal he experiences at the end of PreSequel, and then to just be like, yeah, fuck Claptrap. I don't get that, but whatever. But after beating the Claptastic Voyage main story, you can go back into Claptrap's mind, and there's a new wave system. I think it's called the Mutator. And the next achievement I got is it's raining cats and hot dogs, which is to complete one round of the Mutator. The Mutator is, it's just the Hollow Dome shit, but there are benefits, and they're like, I don't know, there are uppers and downers for it. Buffs and debuffs. That's probably the better term. Like, one is like acid shoes, where anytime you touch the ground, you are dealt corrosive damage. Another one is, you know, butt slams do 50% more damage. Shit like that. And there's 9 of them. There's 18 total. There's 2 different You know, you got the racist hot dog, and then you've got the birthday cat. They each have their own buff and debuff panel. And what I would do is just select one on each of those and then start the round. The reason I replayed Claptastic Voyage is because when I played this initially, I was on True Vault Hunter mode. And I could not get past the second wave. So I got the first achievement for completing one wave. But the second wave, the second round, the final wave is against Shadow Trap. And I was just not doing any damage to him. I kept dying. So I replayed all of Claptastic Voyage again on normal mode. Unlocked the mutator and then tried again. And was finally able to get the gift that keeps on giving, which is to experience all 9 game modes and all 9 modifiers of the mutator. I mean, kind of a shitty way to end off a DLC, but hey, I couldn't get it until after beating the game, so... So the final 3 achievements I had left for the pre-sequel were the other 3 playable characters' kill skill related achievements. And the first one I decided to go for is Athena's, which was No, I'm Athena, and it tests you with killing 100 enemies with the Aspis. I basically just started... Well, I already had an Athena because that's the one I used to suffocate. I started the new game with Athena, and once I got into Serenity's Waste, I would just go around killing the Kragans until they spawned the Kragan Pebbles. I would use my shield. What the Aspis does is damage dealt to it, then like builds up this explosive thing within the shield, so when you throw it, it deals explosive damage to the enemy. So I would have the Kragan Pebbles attack the shield and then just throw it at them, and I just did that. Probably only took me about maybe 20 minutes to get that. 20 to 30 minutes to get my 100 kills. It's not too bad. Next I got Air Supremacy, which is to kill 100 enemies with Wolf. This is Wilhelm's kill skill, and this one I actually played through pretty much, I think, after beating Deadlift. Once I beat Deadlift and got back into Serenity's Waste, I got my 100th kill with Wolf. And what I would do is I would just wait until my action cooldown expired. I would spawn Wolf and whatever the fucking other one's name is, can't remember, and just not do anything. Just have Wolf kill everything. Even if I went down, I would maybe damage an enemy enough to where Wolf would just kill it and I can get back up, or I would just not do anything and have Wolf pick me up himself. But yeah, that's how I got the 100 kills with Wolf. Again, that one's not too bad. I thought that would be a lot more work than they were, but not as bad as Executioner, which is Nisha's kill skill achievement, and that is to kill 10 enemies in a single activation of Showdown. And looking back on it, I think the issue I was having is that, so when you go into Nisha's skill, she auto-targets enemies, and all you basically have to do is hold RT, as long as they are, like, within range of you. The issue I was having was that if you aim, it's kind of like VATS. So if you hold LT while you do it, you can switch between enemies. And I think what the issue I was having is I would switch to a new enemy before actually killing any enemies at all, and then it would run out. it's a very short time you have with it. I ended up getting Nisha to level 6, and I think put 3 points into whatever skill gives you more time in the showdown. I also saw it prudent to have a weapon that so a lot of the weapons say fast fire rate because they fire as fast as you can pull the trigger. But I saw that having a weapon that does a decent amount of damage, but you could just hold RT and not have to worry about pulling the trigger, kind of, you know, saved me some time as far as in showdown. And the area I did this in, so I played through the story up until unlocking the Tales from Elpis side mission. I completed that side mission because it then has the Son of Flamey as just a spawn in that area. It's next to Janie Springs' base camp where you first beat her. So what I would do is go into that area. 3 Kragans will spawn out of the first 2 little caves there. You're either going to get a mixed number of, like, adult Kragans or little Kragans or whatever. So you run past those, get those 3 to spawn, and then run into Son of Flamey's area. What I ended up doing was getting all of Son of Flamey's health down to where I can ensure that I will kill him quickly so that the next 2 will spawn out of them before showdown ends. And then if I got an adult Kragan or immolator or whatever the fuck, I would get their health down to the same to where it's like just one shot and they'll explode into the other 2. Just to ensure that I actually got the 10 kills in showdown. But after doing that, I was able to, and actually just holding RT, I just jumped sort of in the middle of all of them to where they were within close proximity to me, went into showdown, and then just fired and finally unlocked Executioner, my final achievement for Borderlands, the pre-sequel. So that's one more Borderlands game ticked off the full completion list. That only leaves Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and Tales from the New Tales from the Borderlands. I'm probably going to do New Tales from the Borderlands next because that is the worst Borderlands game, just bar none. So let's just get that piece of shit out of the way now. Again, probably not going to be anytime soon. Because, again, just kind of Borderlands'd out at the moment. I definitely wanted to get this one done, though, because the 360 stores are going to shut down this year, I think in July. So I had to buy the DLC for that, obviously. Granted, I could have done it on the Handsome Jack collection, but I would have had to completely... Well, I guess I had to start over anyway, so I guess it didn't fucking matter. But, yeah, I think I've already voiced my kind of complaints for the Borderlands pre-sequel. It's not the worst Borderlands game, New Tales from the Borderlands is, but it's also not the best. Borderlands 2 being the best. But I had fun with it. Like I said, I definitely understand Claptrap a little more after spending so many fucking hours with him these past 2 months, and then it was fun playing with Nathan, though I feel that Nathan didn't have as much fun as I had playing the game. I have a tendency to just kind of run off, and Nathan likes to stay back and kill things. So oftentimes I would leave him there, just killing stuff. But yeah, if you like these achievement videos, full completion videos, I have a full playlist on the channel. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know which games you think I should try next. I do have some plans, but if there are any that you guys want to recommend me go for a full completion on, leave them in the comments down below. If you liked this video and you think I did a somewhat decent job, consider subscribing. I do videos like this often. So, other than that, check back for next time for whatever I do. Bye-bye.